While the Jurassic Park franchise has always tried to reach out to a wide range of ages and audiences, there's always been one constant of the franchise hidden behind its glamour shots and wondrous scenes. It's horror. Scariest Scenes have been a staple of the Jurassic franchise since its conception, from Nedry's death in the novels to the Indoraptor's rampage in Fallen Kingdom. These are one of the reasons these movies are so beloved, and in this special spooky time of year, why not go over some of the most iconic and renowned terrifying moments from the franchise? I'm Badger, and walk with me down this foreboding path as we cover the top 5 scariest scenes of the Jurassic franchise. Before we get too deep onto our list, we should go into something really quick. Our first 2 Spooktobers, we have done a top 5 Scariest Dinosaurs series, each with their own special video. We fully intend on doing that once again this year, however we felt that the concept had run its course, and instead of continuing on with some entries that would loosely fit, we decided to change the concept into one unified video covering the scariest scenes of our franchise. As it continues to grow, we will always have more and more options to choose from. So, without further delay, let's get back on schedule. I mean schedule. Number 5. The Indominus Rex Ambush. When Jurassic World was first announced, many were concerned that it would be an attempt to kiddify the franchise. Imagine the surprise when the first haunting trailer dropped, and all of that concern melted away immediately. Our number 5 spot goes to one of the most iconic scenes in this film, the Indominus Rex Ambush. After tracking the Indominus Rex down, Jurassic World's ACU team, led by Captain Katashi Hamada, pinpoints the location of the dinosaur to a small creek in the north of the island. After stalking up to the area, they discovered something horrifying. The tracking implant of the Indominus was torn out by the animal, as it had remembered where they put it in. The horror grows as blood drips from the overhanging trees, and the Indominus Rex not only reveals that it can camouflage, that it has led the entire group into an ambush. After killing Hamada, it sets its sights on the rest of the team, all of whom used only non-lethals. After massacring the majority of the people, one man holds the Indominus off with a shotgun, while the wounded escape before getting devoured in one swift bite. While not entirely scary, the dread and horror of the situation leaves many viewers of this scene with their jaws agape. Number 4. The Indoraptor Hunt. Our 4th entry also occurs in the Jurassic World film, in the sequel, Fallen Kingdom. Directed by J.A. Bayona, he intentionally tried to bring more horror elements into the franchise. With this sequel, they certainly succeeded. While many aspects of the film are hated by fans, it's undeniable that the Indoraptor's hunt towards the end of the movie is genuinely chilling, and it is incredibly well directed. It starts with the Indoraptor making its way to the rooftop of the Lockwood Manor, after unsubscribing Ken Wheatley from his free trial of life, chasing down our trio of heroes and finally zeroing in on Maisie, as it lets out a monstrous roar while illuminated from moonlight. From here on out, the Indoraptor begins its slow entrance into Maisie's room, echoing movements from the film Nosferatu. From there, we are treated to haunting imagery of the Indoraptor's shadows playing tricks on the viewer, and truly horrifying sound design of the creature slowly moving out through the bedroom. When it spots Maisie, it slowly reaches its ungodly long out towards the light, its nails reaching forward, shot for shot from the original horror icon. The references end, however, when Owen breaks into the room to continue the action-packed scene. Number 3. Tyrannosaurus Breakout. When you think of Jurassic Park, a few scenes may come to mind. The sick Triceratops, the helicopter flyby, but few are as memorable, or as bone-chilling, as the Tyrannosaurus Breakout. An iconic scene, this moment has been referenced in pop culture religiously and caused terror in cinemas when it released. It starts with the power to the park being shut down by Nedry, for sabotaging InGen to make money selling dino embryos to a riled company, Biosyn. After this, the electricity-powered tour cars stop dead in front of the Tyrannosaur paddock. We then feel something large approaching, as indicated through the vibrating cups of water, as the lawyer, Gennaro, makes a break for it, and the Tyrannosaur makes its debut by dropping some mutton chops down on one of the land cruisers. From here, the dinosaur rips through the fence, lets out a triumphant roar, and begins to curiously inspect the tour cars. After being drawn to the front car by Lex wielding a flashlight, it begins to try to rip into it and reach the kids inside. As the attack ensues, the car is flipped onto its back and pushed into the mud, nearly suffocating the children, before the Rex's attention is drawn to Grant and Malcolm, the latter of whom leads the dinosaur away for just long enough for Grant to get Lex out of the car. Malcolm leads the dinosaur right to Gennaro, who is then, of course, eaten off the crapper. However, the Tyrannosaur isn't enjoying its fecal-spewing delicacy for long, as it returns at the car and terrorizes Grant and Lex, the former of whom says the iconic line,
"Don't move! Can't see us if we don't move."
After this, the duo escapes down the side of the paddock's border wall, as Timmy, the remaining child, in the car, is flung off the edge into a tree. Everything about this scene makes it incredible, and one of cinema's most impressive innovations. The Titanic animatronic Tyrannosaur, the rain, the sound design, and the haunting lack of a soundtrack all come together to create this stunning scene, which will terrorize audiences for years to come. Number 2. Jurassic World's Velociraptor Massacre. In our number 2 spot is another scene from Jurassic World, the raptor slaughter. After InGen, Owen, Barry, and the Raptor Squad track down the Indominus, they corner it in the jungle. The Indominus slowly moves out into the open, and right as it seems as though the raptors are about to engage it in combat, they stop. It confuses everyone else, and confuses them even more so when the Indominus and the raptors begin to communicate. However, that confusion melts into horror as it is soon made abundantly clear that the raptors have a new alpha, and they slowly turn to face their new human targets. After giving the command to open fire, the order of the situation devolves into chaos, and it's every man for themselves. We see, through nearly exclusively body cam feeds, people being shredded alive, mauled, and ripped apart. As a kid watching this scene, I was thoroughly terrified. I was in genuine shock that the slaughter is only stopped when the scene travels to the raptor paddock, where one final man is killed and the MVU chase ensues. This scene was genuinely horrifying, and an incredible way to remind audiences how deadly and terrifying the raptors of the Jurassic franchise can be. Well, when they're not being treated like lapdogs in Fallen Kingdom. Runner-ups. When talking about scary moments in the franchise, there can be almost too many to count. Even more of a reason why choosing the ones on this list was such a daunting task. There were just so many incredible and terrifying scenes that we had to leave out of you. But we still find time to throw them into our very honorable mention section. Bucket Camp. Jurassic Park 3, Embryonics Raptor Jump Scare. The Long Grass. Number 1. Raptors in the Kitchen. Without further ado, we have reached what we have decided to be the scariest scene in the Jurassic franchise. The Velociraptors in the kitchen. After leaving the kids at the visitor center, Grant leaves to go and try to find some fellow people. However, what he doesn't know is that he didn't exactly leave the kids alone. As they sit, enjoying a few moments of peace, they are stopped by the horrifying realization that there's a raptor right behind them. They run to the kitchen and hide behind a counter. Here, one of, if not the most iconic moments in the film occurs, where we, in tandem with the characters, know that the Velociraptors are intelligent enough to open doors. After making their way into the children's refuge, the lone raptor reaches into the air and lets out a sharp bark, calling a second individual in with it. As they prowl together through the kitchen, the kids narrowly avoid them in a hair-raising game of cat and mouse, rarely evading them time after time. Eventually, by pure luck, they manage to lock one of the raptors in the kitchen's industrial freezer and outrun the second. This scene is without a doubt the most iconic in the film. If you ask anyone about Jurassic Park, there's a guarantee that they remember the raptors in the kitchen scene. Many consider it the pinnacle of Spielberg's filmmaking. Every little detail that comes together makes this scene what it is, from the haunting, foreboding use of soundtrack, to the loud crashes and bangs from silverware interrupting the solemn silence of the hunt, to the ear-splitting calls of the dinosaurs as they pursue the young kids. It holds the recipe to make a truly terrifying scene, and we proudly feel it deserves the title of the scariest scene of the Jurassic franchise. Chimera stalking from the bushes. The Dracula mimic creeping beside your bed. dark nightmares of beasts escaping containment, the swift thieves massacre, and finally, monsters loose in your own kitchen. All scenes that feel strikingly close to home are ones that make our first list of top 5 scariest scenes in the Jurassic Park franchise. What do you think of our list? Would you rank it any different? Include scenes we didn't or drop ones we did? Let us know in the comments down below. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed our content, and ring that bell to be notified of any future uploads. Till next time, this is Badger, signing off. And remember, October has only just begun.